The love of family, the reassurance of faith, and the bonds of community. That is where people in Uvalde, Texas are finding solace this morning. That is one of the vigils last night in the community, song and prayer to offer comfort. The gatherings happened just a night after parents had endured a nightmare, an agonizing wait to find out if their children were among the dead. It was an overwhelmingly emotional experience for those families and for those who tried to comfort them.
Expressions, very drastic expressions of anger, desperation, hurt, people that were holding hope. So I believe the families are crushed.
That is San Antonio's Archbishop speaking with our senior correspondent, Katie Simpson. He'd led a mass last night in Uvalde. He'd been with the parents on the night of the shooting and shared with Katie the story of a little girl who was in that classroom and survived the attack.
She was telling me how she tried to help the classmate next to her. She said she was dead. And I asked her, "Could you give me the names of your friends?" And it was part of how we collected names tonight. So we need to walk with them, to listen, and then to be ready, to love, to love, to love.
As we look live at pictures of Uvalde and the scene just outside the elementary school, there are 21 crosses there now, each with the name of one of the victims. And you can see the flowers and the balloons and the tributes in that memorial shrine that is growing this morning. Katie Simpson is in Uvalde, and she'll be reporting through this day. Makda Ghebreslassie, also part of our CBC News team. And she tells us this morning that the families are sharing stories now about their lost loved ones.
Well, we've been hearing from the different family members of the victims, whether it be in various interviews or in posts online, sharing their memories of their loved ones. And that includes the family of Irma Garcia. She was one of the two teachers that was killed in this shooting. Her family online calling her a hero, and they say that she left behind 4 children. We also heard from the family of Amarillo Garcia, and she, one of the students that was killed, her stepfather saying that she was so creative, and in fact, she just got an award for her creativity. And then we heard from the father of Jacqueline Cesares, and he talked about how full of love she was. So here's more from him.
Full of love and full of life. And she would do anything for anybody. And to me, she's a firecracker, man. It comforts me a little bit to think that she'd be the one to help her friends in need there and then.
And little by little, we're also hearing from the survivors, the other students that were in that classroom, the other students that were able to escape before the shooting happened. And one of the students we're hearing from is a 9-year-old who was in one of those classrooms. Remember, this shooting took place in 2 classrooms that were joined by one door. And he was in that second classroom. And he says he heard the gunman shoot through that door. He said he and his friend were hiding under a table that was covered. Now, his parents didn't want him to be identified, but they wanted him to be able to share what he heard. And this child said he heard the gunman come in and say that it was time to die.
When I heard the shooting through the door, I told my friend to hide under something so he won't find us. I was hiding hard and I was telling my friend to not talk because he's gonna hear us. We have a door in the middle and he opened it and then he came in and he crouched a little bit and he said it's time to die. When he shot, it was very loud and it hurt my ear. When I saw the bullets on the floor, it was real.
And Heather, as the days go on, it's likely we're going to hear more and more stories from survivors like that little boy that were in that room when this all happened.